Patch 3.0A is here, and oh boy, I can already hear people screaming, what do you mean you took a small break for Lunar New Year? What about matchmaking? And of course, this patch unfortunately has nothing to do with matchmaking or the ban system or putting in place a system that allows you not to lose rank every time you have an AFK in your game, because you shouldn't lose rank due to an AFK. But there are a bunch of nerfs and buffs in this patch. However, some of these buffs have me like, the fuck you doing? To not bore you here, let's get straight into the patch note. And first things first, of course, we got new skins coming. Who would have thought? Releasing February 24th, we got Dragon Slayer Olaf and then Internal Cannon. I honestly would say, you know, comment down below to join the giveaway, but there's this whole thing where like you have to be friends for like 2 weeks for you to give skins. So giveaways are technically dead right now somewhat. But you know, if you guys have a good idea of how to like set up a giveaway without, you know, having to wait 2 weeks, let me know. You know, we can figure something out. I don't know, you know, Cash App or whatever. Anyways, first victim up here, we got Amumu, and they noted down Amumu has been struggling in high level play recently, so we're increasing the range of his bandage toss. This should give him the ability to make more impactful plays in the jungle and give him hugs from a longer range. So literally they just buffed his bandage toss by 0.5. That's it. Like, what the heck? I mean, honestly, I don't even know if you can consider that a freaking buff. I mean, it's one of those things that are like so insignificant. Maybe ganking might be like slightly easier, but he struggles versus very aggressive early game champs that are like what the meta currently revolves around, like, you know, Lee Sin and like Jungle Camille and stuff like that. He literally gets curb stomped by them. The thing about Amumu is like he's literally just a champ that sets up a team fight. Like, I think the best example of what he's like is like, look at Malphite. He's basically just an ultimate, right? You just, if you land the ultimate, you're pretty much good. Amumu is basically that, but the thing is, overall, he's not strong enough to the point where like if he does land the ultimate, he's not gonna do anything after that. Sure, his ganking potential is there, but you know, there's so many other champs that can also gank and do so much better across the board. Then we have Camille. They noted down that Camille has been a bit too strong in high level play, so we're going to pull back on some of the damage and utility she gets to bring her in line with her fellow fighters. So her tactical sweep, the outer cone's bonus damage is getting nerfed, so it's gonna go from 9% of the target's max HP to 7% of the target's max HP at max level. But the thing is that, you know, the slow is still there on her tactical sweep, and also once you get through levels 1 through 5, you're probably not gonna feel this nerf at all. So yes, you know, it's a nerf, but it's a very slight nerf. I would say it's just mainly her early game that will be slightly tweaked there. Then we got the Hextech Ultimatum. So they're nerfing the damage you do to the target's health when you ult in, and then also they're nerfing the zone duration. So yes, she's getting nerfed, but the thing that makes Camille so strong is her ability to be annoying, her mobility, and of course her ultimate. The ability to like single out a target is just what makes her so strong. And although this is a nerf to her, it's just not gonna be that crazy of a nerf. It's not gonna do a significant amount. She's still gonna be good. Her early game might be slightly not as good, but in the late game, you're not gonna be, she's pretty much gonna feel somewhat the same, honestly. Next, we got everybody's favorite Tyler 1. They noted down for Draven. While we may disagree with him that it's all about Draven all the time, we can agree that he has been underperforming compared to other marksmen in the Dragon League. We are giving him some extra damage on his ultimate so he can have an easier time closing out teamfights and getting those cash outs. So they mentioned underperforming, and I think I would agree with underperforming if we're like talking like, I don't know, platinum or whatever. But if you know what you're doing with him, you can easily snowball. You know, it's one of those things where like they looked at the overall win rate and they saw it was like 50% and they were like, oh no, the champ sucks. But like, it's literally all the low tiers dragging the win rate down. And so they're giving him bonus AD ratio, 20% more bonus AD ratio. Like, we're probably gonna see a lot of 1v9 YouTube videos start to come up in the next few weeks. Alright, the next one up is Gragas, and it says there, since recent nerfs, Gragas has been struggling to find his place in the jungle. So we're increasing his clear speed. We hope this change allows him to have more opportunities to slam into his teammates' lanes and give them an assist. So they're increasing the basic attack damage by 6 is to try to bring Gragas into the meta here, but of course, this is also gonna buff Baron Lane Gragas.
Damn, boy!
Next, we got Jace. We all know when Jace came out, he was like low-key potato, but then they buffed him a little too hard. And so now they're like trying to go back a little on those buffs because they realize, whoops, we don't want him to be, you know, banned all the time. And so they noted down Jace has been dominating the Baron lane with his high burst damage, strong mobility, and his ability to make safe trades in his ranged form. We're toning down Jace's early game power to give his opponents a fighting chance during the laning phase. They failed to mention the jungle there though. He's been very strong in the jungle as well. So his base attack damage is getting nerfed by 6. His Hextech capacitor movement speed getting nerfed by 10. And then to the skies / shock blast, the acceleration gate bonus damage is getting nerfed by 10. That's a huge nerf. His dominance in the laning phase won't be as strong as it currently is. You know, his kiting ability when switching forms will definitely not be as good as well. And his acceleration gate bonus damage, they're just reverting the buffs they made after he was released. So they're like really going back on a lot of things they buffed, and they're really trying to find a sweet spot here. But the thing is, even though these are very significant buffs, he's still gonna be very good. You just gotta know that you're not gonna be easily 1v1ing their top lane anymore. Next up, we got Katarina, everybody's favorite toxic 1v9 pentakill every other game champion. So they noted down, as it stands, our favorite Noxian assassin has been struggling to assassinate and keep up with other mid laners for some time. We're giving Katarina's ultimate a little boost to help make her more impactful in team fights and skirmishes. So the AP ratio on her ultimate is going from 260 to 280. So they're increasing the ultimate by 20%. This is going to be very interesting to see how it plays out in solo queue. It's going to become a nightmare for sure because people are just not coordinated in solo queue. So that's a big goof on my book. Alright, after that we got Lee Sin. So they noted down that Lee Sin's mobility has been a common complaint from frustrated foes. We're increasing Safeguard's cooldown to reduce how quickly Lee Sin can hop around the map. So they're nerfing Safeguard's cooldown by 2 seconds. So from 15 to 17. But it probably won't do anything to Lee Sin. He's still gonna be one of the best junglers, if not like the best. Seriously, what is giving the Safeguard an additional 2 seconds really gonna do? Like, maybe it affects his early game a bit, but yeah, it's just not really gonna do anything to him. Alright, next we got Morgana, and it says that last patch we said we would be keeping an eye on this sinister sister, and since then Morgana has been terrorizing her opponents in the mid lane with her reliable utility and damage. We're toning down her wave clear and damage on her ultimate while increasing her durability so she can still torment her enemies in the dragon lane. So let's see what they did here. So armor, they're increasing from 30 to 35. Tormented Shadow, her base damage, they're nerfing it. So you're gonna do what, 2 less damage per level. And then Soul Shackles, so her AP ratio, they're going from 2% to 1.5% of target's max health per 100 AP. Basically, they're making her wave clear weaker. I don't know. I guess basically the best way to put it would be like they want her to be strong as like an AP champ, an AP carry, but they don't want her in the mid lane, basically. I guess if that makes sense. But you know, the main thing is like you can still play her in the mid lane because at the end of the day, what makes Morgana scary is her crowd control. You know, if she lands that root, follows up with that ultimate, or like, you know, follow that up with any other CC, it's just over. Alright, next we have Sett. Dude is like perma banned basically, so see what they had to say here. Normally I would say you should all sit down and brace yourself for this one, but I think most of you will be standing and cheering for this next change. We know that Sett has been a dominating force in the Baron lane and jungle, especially in the early game since his release. We're reducing some of his early game power so he can be a boss, just a boss who's more in line with his fellow sparring partners on the Rift. Okay, so what did they do here? Base stats. bonus attack damage nerfed by 6. Bonus attack damage speed 10%. Attack speed per level 2.2% down to 1.7%. His pit grit right punch bonus damage from 6 per level to 5. Knuckle down bonus damage against monsters from 20 to 100. Okay, anytime base stats are messed around with any champ, either nerf or buff, something is wrong. Either super potato or super broken. In this case, Sett really strong, super OP, literally support, especially in the Baron lane, and of course jungle. Like literally you could play him as anything and you could win games. You know, his base stats, massive nerf, of course. You know, pit grit, his attack speed per level, his bonus attack speed, his right punch bonus physical ID, it's gonna affect his early game so much. And of course, the bonus damage against monsters reduced by 100 is gonna affect his jungle so much. His utility and his team fight setup will still be as strong, but he won't run you down and like punch you to death in like 2 seconds anymore. But anyways, next one up is Vayne, and they noted down Vayne has been dominating in high level play recently. We're cutting back on some of her sustain to give her opponent some room to punish her during the laning phase. So they're nerfing Silver Bullet, active healing 60% of damage dealt to 40% of damage dealt, and then active cooldown from 13 to 15 max level. Vayne right now is literally like, if she gets a slight lead, like she will literally clap you. And not to mention, if you have the right support as a Vayne, you know, like a freaking Lulu, and on top of that, she's a tank killer. Like Vayne is one of those champs where like not only do you need to go hard on the nerfs, but if you don't do like some indirect nerfs on her, like you nerf an item that can do well on her kit, like she's still gonna be strong. And not only that, if the supports that are paired well with her are like buffed, even if she's not broken, she's still gonna be fairly good. All right, next we got gameplay changes. So item changes, Archangel Staff, Seraph's Embrace. So Seraph's Embrace is currently the premier item of choice for enchanters and mages. We want to bring Seraph's back in line with other item choices, so we're taking away some of the ability haste it provides while also reducing some of its shielding power. So Archangel Staff, ability haste from 25 to 20, Seraph's Embrace, ability haste from 25 to 20, Lifeline Shield value 15% of current mana plus 150 to 15% of current mana to plus 100. You know, this is not a big nerf actually. The haste is still actually pretty good. You know, we might see like, I don't know, like Luden start to pop up here and there maybe, but honestly the ability haste wasn't tweaked that hard. It's an okay nerf, but nothing really significant. Alright, Serrated Dirk. So we're adjusting Serrated Dirk so it provides less armor penetration in the early game while buffing the armor penetration provided by the items that Serrated Dirk builds into. We believe this change will help differentiate between offensive armor penetration items like Yumi's Ghostblade and defensive options like Edge of Night. So let's see. So Serrated Dirk, armor penetration from 10 to 8, Edge of Night armor penetration from 10 to 8, Yumi's Ghostblade armor penetration from 10 to 12, so getting a buff there, and then Umbral Glaive armor penetration from 10 to 12. Honestly, I think Umbral Glaive is like pretty trash. I feel like I've never used it. I don't even know what item that is, honestly. Probably needs like a big buff. Yeah, you know, there was like what, a Serrated Dirk rush that junglers or whatever were doing. So yeah, this might make people think a little more of what they want to build. You know, they might be forcing you to go like Ghostblade first and then like Edge of Night late game or something like that. I don't know, you know, like because they're buffing Ghostblade, so they're making it more attractive. So maybe people will be like, maybe I'll build this first before Edge of Night or something like that. But we'll see how it plays out. Then we got Ruin changes. So Mastermind. Mastermind is granting too much economic value to junglers while also improving their clear speed. We're tuning down the gold bonus that it provides when destroying objectives. So the gold bonus objective kill is going down from a 120 to 40. They're literally trashing this Ruin. Basically, like what's happening right now is that a lot of people are running Mastermind, and basically what they're doing is like you would just farm objectives, and from this a lot of junglers are gonna be very unhappy because 120 to 40, that's probably one of the biggest nerfs. And then Summoner Spells Barrier has been a powerful and popular pick for pretty much every role. Yeah, Kind of. I would say ADCs mainly. But anyways, it says we're reducing its early game power to keep it in line with other summoner spell options. So the shield amount is going from 115 through 465, 90 plus 25 per level, to 100 to 450, 75 plus 25 per level. It's not enough across the board. You know, support's typically, I mean, if you're taking barrier as a support, you're kind of like psychopathic. You know, as a top laner, you typically take ignite. Mid lane, maybe like 50-50 ignite, 50-50 barrier, but I think I see mainly ignite. So it's mainly the ADCs who are gonna get affected by this. Even then, I don't think it's like a change that's significant enough for people to not take barrier. You're gonna have to know how to time it properly. I think it's what it's gonna come down to. And even then, I think it's mainly gonna screw you over maybe in the early game. But, you know, moving from there, you're not gonna feel it as much, you know, especially if you have a good support that provides a barrier, or even a support that buys Locket. So I think it'll be fine. And then the rest is just the free-to-play champion rotation, so nothing there. But yeah, that is all there is there. Yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy. Let's be real, you know, they pretty much hit the ones that kind of needed a bit of a nerf. You know, Sett, Jace, that's definitely priority. You know, there was a few things where not so much. Chamu definitely could have used a bigger buff, that's for sure. And, you know, there's other champs that could definitely need a little tweaking here and there. I'm surprised they didn't do like a Yumi buff or something like that. You know, usually they like to mess around with new champs a little bit. But hey, let me know what you guys think. You know, was buffing Katarina and Draven a bit of a mistake? You know, especially for solo queue gamers. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit me with that like. I would greatly appreciate it. And other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.